twegatta. Kati mwabali mu umbrella tulina okubeera nga tuli assertive. Tulina okubeera nga tuli assertive. Obukulembeze is the calling. There is a reason why all of you here are ambitious to be something. It cannot be stopped by a man. It should not be stopped by a man. But also, I know there are women who beat men.
Very few.
There are very many.
1%.
No, there are many. No, the word few is being juxtaposed to the numbers of women. But me, I'm telling you, there are many women who are violent against men. And the violence we are talking about is not only beating. It can be verbal. It can be. Hey, naffe wano we mulaba nga nze deputy spokesperson omukazi ajja n'akukuba okugambo n'omutunulira noga agwogedde. Naye kati ffe abamu twagawulirawulira dde era totutwala nga musango omusonyi wa busonyi ye oba naawe n'omuddiza. Naye omukyala ekikufuula omukyala ge maanyi g'oba nago ku buli ky'oba otaddeko engalo zo. Wera bya bufuzi nga byoyingidde biyingire with assertiveness, biyingire with superiority, biyingire nga weekakasa ng'omukyala ate mwe empowering each other. Temufuna bantu bali inferior kubaganza nga bambi bamajja kukuba paka bwanako. Waliwo omwami Engineer Kazibwe. Engineer Kazibwe, it is a public thing, I can talk about it. And Dr. Speciosa Wandera Kazibwe. The man, may his soul rest in peace, was very inferior. He was a drunkard, and this one was a vice president. So he felt comfort in beating a vice president. You get my point? Now, there are those type of people who are inferior. And if you are living in that ambition, there's no reason why you should remain there. In my opinion, because people have died. I heard of a woman who was beaten to death in Malawi. Was it in Malawi? Even here. So for me, I request you people, probably one day we'll get a larger time. Madame Flavia, this is a topic I can ably talk about. But I want to ask you, the ladies, be assertive, empower yourselves, and get out of the docket of inferiority complex. Be formidable. Zahara imirira. Kati oyogenda mugamba kisaabazi ng'omusanze. Ogenda mugamba ki ng'okoze ki? Ali assertive ne bw'oba olina ky'oyagala omugamba. Gwe mwennyini okola ki? Otya naye bw'oba tebwetegese ng'oli inferior, you are appeasing, bajja kukwata ku kutu bakozesa bye ne bagala okola ki? So my word to you, please be formidable. Be assertive. Know why you are in this. Because if you go on being tested by every level of going up, unatukira bannaye. Ngalolete jula. So tumanye, know your price. Your price is your human being. And your human being is the overzealousness of your entire body. So you know that you are a very formidable person. In politics, of course, now you have the army, they touch your place, they do what? That one is what we are working on, removing Museveni, because Museveni and his team, you know, they will always do that. But we want to thank you for being assertive, for being members of the National Unity Platform. It is not easy because you still find a lot of persecution as women. Now I have heard our sister, your products are not being advertised. Don't you fear about that. Come and we advertise them. You are NUP. We are the people. Come join us. Tell us your products. We have the microphone. We will advertise you. Beginning today, I'm going to advertise your products. Do not be bogged down by negativity. Move with positivity. Move with cohesion. I can tell you, you leave no stone unturned. Thank you very much. We officially close this function. God bless you. We love you so much. For God and my country. People power. Our power. People power. Thank
you very much. Thank you very much, our deputy spokesperson, Alex. So, we've come to the end. Now we are going to request that we move into a press what? Mode. I know time is not with us, so I want to move this as fast as I can. Ebigambo tulina bingi nnyo naye leero tugenda bisala byonna bibe nga biki bitono ddala. Mwebale nnyo okujja, mwebale ddala. Poza mubamu abazze abateeyanjuddeko abatuuse bit late, mwabaddemu Julian Kabagambe, coordinator Kunga from Western Region. Yimira ko bakulabe. Mulimu njagala okwebaza nnyo ba coordinator baffe ababadde ku organizing committee eno ey'omusomo gwaffe. Sarah, yes Sarah, Sarah abeerawo. Sarah Wojano, Shifra Lukundo, oyo naye omusookerako joined by abalala bemumanyi nga Rahma Juma n'abalala bonna. Sorry? Oh, yes. From Busia. People had time to introduce themselves. I'm just highlighting some of those. Of course, the Monica, wali muduka yafe, busangayo waggulu. Monica. Hey, so ndoza kankome kwabo kubanga nja kukola ensobi wano ate munyigire. Sagala kunyigira saa zino tuli mugutabanguko twagala mirembe kati. So can we get into a press conference mode? I think we are going to speak from here and you stay seated as you are. I'm just requesting that you move the empty chairs behind and move a bit, sit closer. Because tugenda kola press and we are only going to have only 4 people speaking and then we can move away from this place. Has it been a great engagement? Have you benefited from it? Thank you very much for coming and we hope we can do more. We shall be moving in 2 regions, so those of you who may want to move with us in different regions, when we announce, you can always jump on board. Next, we are going to have an institutions engagement, and Shamim and your team, I'm going to request you to organize as soon as you can so that we can have that with a female youth institution. People power, our power, people power.
Yes, ndabawulidde kigenda maaso ekibiina kya NUP nga kikulemberwa His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Olunaku olwaleero bategese enteekateeka 16 days of gender based violence ennaku ziba 16 nga basomesa bannansi.
Okay, thank you very much. People power, our power, people power. Okay, so today we have converged here to talk about gender-based violence in recognition of the 16 days of activism which are celebrated internationally. We need to shine a torch on the plight of women and girls that are undergoing domestic violence or gender-based violence around this country. I provided basic information to all of you to be able to address gender-based violence and how best to respond and protect yourselves as survivors. For some of us, for most of us, because I am very sure 1 in 3 women undergo some form of violence at some point. Historically, we know that the response by various stakeholders, for example, the police officers, health service providers, religious leaders, family and friends, sometimes, most oftenly, a lot of times, is very insensitive to the plight of survivors of gender-based violence. Most of the times, the survivors of gender-based violence are blamed, especially women or females. They are blamed for not being submissive enough. They are blamed for not being patient. They are blamed for not being tolerant. Some are accused of provoking the perpetrators, provoking the husbands, for example, into beating them senselessly. Others are not believed when they say their stories or when they share their stories. We have children who sometimes report the perpetrators, and they are called bad children. They are called children who tell lies. They are called children who do not know what they are talking about. GBV has serious consequences which are far-reaching and which include the erosion of one's self-esteem, one's self-worth, physical, mental, and psychological health issues, loss of productivity, among so many other consequences. We have to know that peace has a price that needs to be paid if it is to be established and sustained. We know for sure that 45% of partners, especially women, suffer silently through physical violence. We also know that 16% of reported cases are sexual violence cases. We also know that 29% of these physically forced sexual violence cases in our homes, in our spaces, in our offices, also our workplaces. There is a complete lack of transparency in handling GBV cases, especially at police level and at health centers at times. CDOs at the communities, that's the community development officers too, lack certain resources to handle violence cases, and yet sometimes that's the first point of reference. It is within our power to fight against gender-based violence. It is within us as women, it is within us as men, as girls and boys to break the silence on gender-based violence. What can be done? A lot needs to be done. But if the government started investing more resources into programs reducing gender-based violence cases, this wouldn't be a very high price to pay for the country. Allocation, we could redeem about 15.5% of government's GDP if we were to invest resources in this. And this is money that has been lost because of violence against women or girls cases, according to a study that was done by Forum for Women in Democracy entitled Budgeting for Peace, a cost-benefit analysis. So today we are here to share our stories, just like we've had, but we are also here to amplify the voices on why violence needs to be stopped and why all of us need to break the silence. Thank you very much. I'm going to invite our Deputy President, Lina Zedriga Waru, to start us off in this conversation with a message we are putting forward to men, women, girls, and boys out there while commemorating the 16 days of activism as NUP Women League, to be able to combat and to combat the issue of gender-based violence. Thank you very much, Lina. Please come forward.
People power, our power, NUP, Chagulanyi, our president. Yes. Thank you so much, the gallant women of this great party, the National Unity Platform Party. Thank you so much, Honorable Flavia, for that leadership that is very inclusive, that is making us as the women in this political party to come together, to come and think and hold conversations and make commitments from across Uganda. Thank you so much, Honorable, and your entire leadership. Today is the International Human Rights Day. It ends the 16 days of activism officially, because for us we will remain in this activism. As the women of the National Unity Platform Party, across generation, across geography, we today have come together and reawakened. For me, it's very important that we document these realities. Like women like Wangari Maathai, if they hadn't written their stories, we would not know. We have rich experiences. My heart is broken, but many of you with rich stories could not speak because of the time factor. That's one resolution. The second resolution, together we are stronger. Together we are stronger. In my place, my satellite place in Chetume, when we first came there, the whole village, they would beat children, they would beat women. As a magistrate, as a judicial officer, Nekati, they call that place Wa Omulamuzi. You don't beat it. They say, is she there? Don't. Kumakami, I will call the police. I would call Helen Aliek and she would physically come and arrest you. That is called judicial activism. So, you know, we have to do political activism to prevent the next wave of violence against women in politics. We have to do what? We have to invoke and work through political activism. We had judicial activism. Now ours is political activism, spearheaded by the women of National Unity Platform Party. We have the mayor, we have everybody. And together, we can do it. I remember when Honorable Flavius was still very young, there was this case of Sharma, where the Indian lady who was ironed by the husband, very pregnant, 2 children out, she was ironed with flat iron, she died. To hide this evidence, they wanted to go and ban her. I remember it very vividly. It was Easter. We called one another because of the PHU, push her up with the Winnipeg, with the Matembes, we came together because they knew it. We were in Lugogo, that burial place of where they burned, and they had already piled the firewood, poured oil, and they were going to burn that evidence. We worked together, and the children saw, and she in her death saw some justice. This gathering is as powerful. It's a new revolution within a revolution. And I see all of you here bringing your hearts down. Today we are saying no to political violence, no to gender-based violence, no to ourselves being the perpetrators. Let the end begin with us. Let the prevention begin with us. Let there be a sexual harassment-free, rape-free political space, especially in the political parties. We are committed to do that. And I'm very, very excited that our president, the de facto and de jure duly elected president of the Republic of Uganda, commits every day and recommits himself to end all these forms of discrimination, inhuman and degrading treatment. And he's living it in practice. And the Secretary General and the entire legal team, they are doing this. So today we are adding another milestone that we're going to document these stories and we're going to prevent. We will work together. We will practice all the values, especially that of inclusion, intergenerationally. We begin with ourselves. My sincere apologies, especially to the young, to the Gen Z. Sometimes, not sometimes, very often, we exclude you. We are the perpetrators. I sincerely apologize. And we need to do that. Inclusion of the G's. Generational, geographically. You know, geographically. Can all those coming from northern Uganda stand up? You know you are from northern Uganda, from